Hey, welcome back. It's Dr. Mike. In this video, I wanted to go over 5 exercises that are going to help you relieve sciatica nerve pain. If you're dealing with numbness, tingling down the back of the leg, these are going to be great exercises that you can use at work or at home that are going to be easily done without any equipment. Now, the first 3 exercises are going to focus on decompressing those nerves of the lower back and the hips. And then the 2 exercises at the end are going to be specifically exercises to help strengthen the hips and further keep the sciatica pain away for good. Let's get started. So the first technique we're going to use is called a nerve flossing technique. And this is going to be great, especially for those of you who are maybe very irritated and inflamed or sensitive to movement and exercise. This is going to be the first one that you're going to want to try out. Now, starting off in a nice good sitting position, I don't want to be slouching or hyperextending my lower back. We're going to try to stay stacked with our shoulders over our hips and preferably with your feet dangling either on a table or at home on a bed. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to treat my left side as my affected leg, and what you're going to work on is extending that knee up as you bring your toes up towards the ceiling, as you look up with your head, and then as you bend that knee and bring your toes down, you're going to look down towards the ground. Now, while you're doing this, you have to make sure that you don't go too far and you only go within your tolerated range of motion, meaning that if I extend my knee too far where I'm feeling that pain or pulling behind the leg that is too intense, just stop. It's not even worth it going too far. So just make sure that you're easing into it. We hope that in time things start to feel better. And what you're going to work on here is you're going to work on 10 repetitions on one side. Now we're going to move on to the hamstring stretch. You're going to grab the back of your leg here. You're going to work on extending the knee up as you bring the toes towards your nose. And then you're going to bring the leg back down. Also be aware that the further you have your knee up towards your head, the more of a stretch you're going to put on that sciatic nerve. So let your tension behind the knee be your guide, not overdoing it. Bringing your toes back all the way if you can. You're going to feel a nice good stretch behind the back of the hamstring. As I start to tolerate this a little bit more, I even like to use my fingers and place them right through my hamstrings, especially if you have some lotion or something that you can use to help kind of lubricate your skin. But then you can start to eventually provide some gentle massage as you're moving your leg up and down. You can kind of work on some gentle massage on those hamstrings to further help that sciatic nerve move a little bit more freely there. The next technique we're going to work on is a posterior hip stretch. You're going to take that affected leg, you're going to cross it over, almost similar to the figure 4 stretch. You're going to take that opposite shoulder and you're going to pull that knee towards that shoulder as you give the back of the hip a nice good stretch here. Here we're going to try to hold for about 20 to 30 seconds, and you only need to perform 2 to 3 times. Now with the next technique, we're going to be lying prone on our forearms to start with, and we're going to use this method to help take some pressure off the lumbar spine and hopefully give us some sciatica pain relief. And this is best done on a surface like the floor. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep your pelvis down on the table or the floor. You're going to prop up on your forearms. And I like to squeeze my glutes so that I'm not hyperextending my lower back and causing too much shear, but I'm squeezing my bottom, focusing on keeping my pelvis down and just taking my body into that extension. You can do that as well about 10 times. Now keep in mind, one way to tell if these techniques are helping you while you're working on them is 1, you'll feel some pain relief instantly, and 2, instead of the pain going down the leg, it's going to centralize, meaning it's going to be either above the knee or even back to only the hip or the lower back. So keep that in mind. So now that we've gone over those stretches and those exercises to help decompress the spine, now it's going to be imperative that we work on these 2 strengthening exercises that are going to help keep this pain away for good. So the first one we're going to work on is a side plank hold, and we're going to do this on our knees and elbows. So your hips and your knees are going to be at 90 degrees. Your elbow is going to be stacked over the shoulder, and you're going to basically extend your hips and bring them forward as you prop up. What you're going to feel is those hip abductors on the opposite side working since you're holding your body up. You're trying to maintain a nice neutral spine. You don't want to be rotating forward or backwards. And from here, now we're going to keep our feet together. working on bringing that top leg up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna feel a nice activation of the muscles of the back of the hip here, okay? You're gonna hold that there, and we're gonna start with at least 15 to 20 second holds. If you feel that shaking, that is a good sign. This means that we have an area to work on. You're gonna perform at least 2 to 3 repetitions with 15 to 20 second holds on each side. So the next exercise we're gonna work on is probably one of my favorite ones to help mobilize and strengthen the hips. We're gonna call this a quadruped because we're in a quadruped position. Hip airplane progression. So I am focusing on my left side here. Our starting position is going to be hands underneath the shoulder. Knees are going to be underneath the hip. So what you're going to do is taking the opposite leg off the ground, hovering. You're going to take that knee up towards the ceiling, and I'm allowing my hips to kind of rotate as I'm pushing my left knee into the ground, feeling all my glute muscles turn on. And then as I drop my right knee back down, I'm now gonna allow my hips to kind of turn in and feel that nice good stretch through the lateral side of the hip. Once again, I'm supporting myself with my arms. I'm taking that right knee up, driving my knee into the ground, feeling these muscles kick on, squeeze tight, and then allowing your knee to drop back down as your hip feels a nice good stretch because now you're turning your body slightly into there. And with this one, you're gonna work on trying to get 2 sets in on each side for about 10 to 12 repetitions. Guys, thank you for watching today. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If there are any specific topics you'd like for me to cover, please leave a comment below. Thank you, have a good day.